What are we doing today, you might ask? I don't know I can say what we're trying to do. I don't know if it's going to work or not. So, back when we had our freeze, the blue car had water in it. Like I mentioned before, the freeze plug got pushed out. Well, I also found out that it cracked my thermostat housing. Or my coolant housing. There's no thermostat in there, obviously. The Miata motors, the BPs, for some reason they have this little outlet that looks like a thermostat housing on one end, but clearly a thermostat can't fit in there. So this is for the temperature sensor, which is down here on the table. And then this is the outlet for, I think that runs to the heater. Anyway, I gotta try to weld this back together. It is junk cast aluminum, so I don't know how this is gonna go, but if I can get it welded decent enough on the bottom side and maybe ground down that it will seal, maybe it will be okay. I foresee me ordering a new one, but I'm no pro at welding aluminum, but I'm gonna give it a shot. A little bit later, I'm not necessarily too proud of it, but I'm going to go ahead and show you the situation that we ran into. I tried to weld this cast aluminum, and because it's cast aluminum, it looks like absolute poopy. So we kind of threw that idea to the wind. It didn't work, so I went and picked up a nipple. He said nipple. And I'm going to go ahead and use this to put the hose over where this little piece here comes out. This piece, we're going to use the nipple in place of that. So we're going to cut the threads off of this end, and we're going to knock the hole just ever so slightly larger than the center section, and then I'm going to kind of tap it in there and weld it. And then I'll show you over here what we're doing. So we put the piece in the scanner over in that cabinet, and so we scanned it, and then Tom, come on Gimbal, you can do it. The Tom here designed this. So basically he went in on his Fusion 360 and designed this, and I decided because we only have an 1/8" plate, it's not going to be thick enough, so we're going to go ahead and knock it out, just basically as a reroute kit that you can order for the Miata motors. We're going to go ahead and knock it out of this 1/8" plate because this is 12 gauge, it's not quite thick enough, and then we're going to cut another little square, and I'm going to stack it on top of the plate that we're cutting and just weld all the way around it, and then we're going to tap those all at once. It should be enough to hold this. This is the coolant temperature sensor. And this is the one that I send to the ECU for the fans. So basically, these threads, you can't get a nut anywhere. In these threads, it's M12 by 1.5. You can get 175 and 125, but not 1.5. So
because metric.
Yeah, because metric. So basically, we're going to cut this square, which is smaller, and then this big thing here. And I'll put that on top of this, and then I'll weld all the way around it, and we'll tap it all at once, and we'll be good to go. All right, it's done. Check this out.
Fills the whole table through the grains back up, you know.
Yeah. So here's the plate. We got this piece. We went ahead and made a big hole for the nipple, and then we made a smaller hole that we'll be stacking this on top of, and I'll be welding it to it, and then we will tap it so I can put my little temperature sensor in there. So I'm going to get this over to the welding table, clean up, deburr, get a little bit of slag. It's not too bad. Clean that off, and then I gotta weld the little square to the actual plate, and we should be good. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off too. I'll throw this in the bandsaw real quick, just cut it off, and then we'll be golden. Hopefully it works, because this is not already ordered a new one of these, but I just wanted to see if we could use the plasma and design one, just because we have it and we can. So we're gonna see how it goes. Tom had to help me because I had some issues with not getting the metal clean enough, and he broke out his welder and whipped it out for me. So we got it done. This is it. So instead of welding the top side of the nipple, he did the back side. Hopefully it doesn't leak, or we'll have to do the top side too. But there's this pretty decent looking welds on the little square that I was showing you earlier. And I am currently looking for the correct tap, and we're going to tap this and then make sure that this is going to thread in there and seal up like it's supposed to. I have a little washer here that seals up against it, so we should be good. So I'm going to find the tap, and we're going to get this hole tapped to the threads we need, and we should be good to go. Well, what normally happens has happened. Well, two things. First off, I came here thinking I'd get this knocked out real quick, and we hung out and goofed off all day. So I've been here the entire day. Second, we didn't have what we needed. Tom has a ton of taps, but we didn't have the specific one we needed for this hole so that we can thread this sensor in. And it's an M12 by 1.5, like I said earlier, and we just don't have a tap for it. So I'm going to go over to Zach's house and see if maybe he has one, and if not, maybe my cousin will have one, and he's on the way home. So we'll check and see, and hopefully I can grab some silicone, get this thing bolted up, and we don't find any other problems like the block being cracked or anything like that. We just left Harbor Freight. I went to Harbor Freight and bought an entire tap and die set because I needed one specific tap, M12 by 1.5. My friend Zach, I went by and he didn't have it, so my cousin, I guess he forgot to look, but I need it anyway. This isn't the first time I've needed one, so I just went ahead and ran to Harbor Freight and bought a whole set. It was like $20 for the cheap set, and it might break, but it's a lifetime warranty, so we'll go back and get another one, but hopefully it doesn't break. So I'll drill it if I have to a little bit bigger so that we can, sorry, open down pipe, she's a little loud. I'll drill it if I have to get the tap to start, and then we'll get it threaded, and then we should be able to get, what in the world? Look at this. Dude's living his life. Oh my God, it's smaller than I thought it was. Dang, that's a little boat. All right, well, I'm actually headed to go visit my grandma, but later I'll be going and getting this thing tapped, and hopefully we're good to go, but we'll be back. Please enjoy my wonderful lighting. It's Harbor Freight light because it's dark outside. I ended up hanging out with my grandma the entire day, which I don't regret, but it put me out here a little later. It's a little cool outside, but it's not too bad. I did get this part on though. I'm gonna show it to you guys. So this is it, right down in there. Everything seemed to fit okay. It's really close to this hard line running across, but other than that, everything fit. It's bolted up. I went and bought the expensive 1 minute instant gasket stuff, and it doesn't seem to be leaking. We got the radiator full. It held almost 2 quarts, give or take, and it's not leaking anymore, so maybe that's resolved. And the freeze plug is in the block down there, which you can't see. It's underneath the exhaust manifold and behind the wastegate, so it makes it really difficult to get to, but it's all back together, and I'm gonna call it a night. It's a little late, and I live in town, so there's a sound curfew, and we're past that for a Sunday night. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night, but in the morning I'm gonna try to get up a little earlier than usual, and we're gonna fire it up and let it get warm. And if everything's working, the temperature sensor and everything seems to be working, and the thermostat opens, and there's not water pouring out of a crack in the block, maybe we dodged the bullet. Otherwise, it's probably gonna leak somewhere else, but I'm hopeful. I think we'll be okay. I'm gonna call it a night. Also, by the time you guys are watching this, I should have my website up and running. It's very, I guess, minimalist, if you want to call it that. It's I've got a little bit of time in it, just trying to give you guys a little bit of backstory on what got me started and everything else. So if you guys would go hop on over there, I'll throw the link for the website down in the description below, so you guys can go check that out. And right now we have stickers on there. They're just YouTube stickers to kind of help support me and get me going. And then tomorrow I'm hoping to order a bunch more stickers, and that way we can kind of stock up. Hopefully you guys order a bunch of them, and then we're going to start doing hats, and I'm going to look into doing shirts, and we won't do hoodies again until it starts getting to be cooler weather. But I'm going to try to do hats and shirts, and then maybe we'll do some like air fresheners or something cool like that. But if you guys buy stickers, then I will put the money back into the channel, and we will continue getting you guys merchandise and stuff so you guys can represent and get the word out there. That's the biggest thing. Kind of get me off the ground, get me going, so I don't have to continue working on my cars in my driveway in the cold. We had a problem. Tom just rescued me. Long story short, because I already recorded this once, but I hit the stop button on accident. Strap, Tom's truck, my car. I made it about 5 minutes outside of town, and it got too hot. And when Tom showed up to rescue me, which he didn't hesitate to come get me, he handed me this. This is a freeze plug. This came out of the back of the block. I know you guys remember I did the one in the front. Well, apparently the back was compromised too. So he got me this, same thing I already put in, from O'Reilly's. And I'm gonna see if we can put it in there. It got really hot. I have ARP head studs, so maybe we dodged the bullet and everything's fine. We might have warped the head. It got hot. So we're gonna see. I'm not 100%, but I'm gonna get it to the shop, see if we can get it fixed. So we're about to pull the car in and put the freeze plug in, and hopefully that's all it is. I mean, it ran great. I drove it here, what, day before yesterday? Or was it just yesterday?
Last 2 days.
No, last 2 days. I've had no problem. So we're gonna push it in the shop and then put a freeze plug in it, and hopefully it fixes it. Because I gotta get home. Because me hungry.
You can sleep in the shop.
I'm not sleeping in the shop. I got 2 dogs at home that are wondering where I'm at.
Oh, yeah.
Can't forget about my other children. Just because I got the new kid doesn't mean I can forget about the other ones.
But that's the only excuse.
Yeah, that's literally the only reason I can't. If they were here, I'd stay here. I mean, it'd be nice to wash my scrotum after a long day, but...
You have a hose up there.
Oh, God. Oh, boy, here we go. Hey, Yahtzee! It sucks that it happened, but
Damn, what the
it's not gonna fall off.
No, but why is it spicy? No.
Why is it spicy? Okay, the block does not appear to be cracked around where the freeze plug was.
Was?
Yeah, where it was, where it's supposed to be. I think I'm gonna be able to put the rubber one in it. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit up there where it came out. That's the hole where it's supposed to go. And I'm going to go ahead and clean it up a little bit, and then we'll stick that rubber one in, and I'm pretty sure there's enough room for me to get up in there with a socket and a ratchet and tighten that thing down. So as long as there's no like crack hiding somewhere, which there shouldn't be because I've driven it the last 2 days to work, we should be good. So I'm going to get this adjustable. I know these are not ideal, but it's what I have. So we're going to get this thing stuck in there and top it off with water. I'm going to have to run next door to grab water. Yeah, little dog's out of water. So we got to run next door and fill my water jugs and then start it up and see if it blows water out. Let it get up to operating temp and we'll be good to go. Tom saved me. Big thank you, Tom.
Again.
Big, large thank you. Yeah, again. Tom's always saving me. Say hi, dog.
Hi, dog.
We got the freeze plug in. I don't have... My phone is not in a case or anything, and I'm not really equipped for this emergency situation. But bear with me. You can see up in there the new freeze plug. Installed, ready to go. It was kind of weird to get to. We had to disconnect the battery because the starter wires are right there, and we didn't want to party. So we got it in, and hopefully, like I said, the motor didn't get hurt. We got a gallon of water here. Tom ran next door and filled that. And we're gonna put water in it and then crank it up and see if it gets to operating temp and doesn't blow water everywhere. Here we go. Okay, it still says coolant temp 108, which is very concerning. We got the freeze plug in. I'm about to fire it up and hopefully it starts and acts normal. So I'm on micro squirt, so I have no way to monitor like coolant pressure or anything necessarily like that. So we're pretty basic and we're just assuming everything's okay, but coolant temp's 109. It'll start climbing. Once the thermostat opens, everything that's in the block will have access to what's in the radiator. So essentially we're just waiting on the thermostat to open when it gets up to operating temp, which is I think 182 or 184. I can't remember what thermostat's in this motor. I put it in there, but I can't remember. So once it gets up to temp, we'll see if it starts puking water all over the floor. If not, maybe we're good, because it's running good. It's firing on all four. It's still in warm-up enrichment, so it's definitely idling a little loaded right now on fuel, but everything seems to be fine at the moment. So we'll be back if we have any issues, or if we don't, we'll see. Here's the puddle of rusty, nasty water that ran out of my motor when my freeze plug failed. But the car is running. Turn around. There you go. The car is running. We started it. I went ahead and turned my fan temperature up because I couldn't remember what thermostat was in it. So I turned the fan temp up to like 188. And fans came on, thermostat open. Put another probably half gallon of coolant in it, and it seems to be fine.
I want a drink.
Tom's thirsty. What do you do? So I had a crazy idea. It's raining and we have some really bad storms coming in. We're expecting some hail that's like bigger than golf balls. So I had an idea. Tom has a piece of exhaust that's 3.5 and it steps up to 5. It's obnoxious. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna hack off the muffler on the back of the blue car, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put that adapter on and see if maybe I can weld it under. I don't know. We might have to drop the whole exhaust. I'm not too sure how we're gonna do it. I need to V-band the exhaust so I can drop it easily on the back, but we're gonna see what we can configure and get 5-inch out the back, and then I'm going to make sure I can slip fit like a 45 or 90. That way we can do like a bozo pipe kind of thing out the back for car shows or whatever, whenever we feel like it. So we're gonna see if this works. I'm gonna fire up the bandsaw and we're gonna chop and see what happens. It's a little loud in here. The plasma table's running. Tom's cutting out a sign to show everybody the business hours out front. And we have a little surprise. We're going to be cutting the exhaust on the blue car. We're going to get rid of, I'm going to keep it, but we're going to be cutting off the Apexi muffler that's on here now. It'll probably go on Hank later on, but for now we're going to be installing a piece of pipe. So the inlet on the Apexi muffler is 3.5 inch, and this happens to be 3.5 inch to 5 inch. I know it's obnoxious, but that's what we do. The blue car right now, the Apexi outlet is 4.5 inch, so it's not that much bigger than what's on the car now. But with this, I'm going to be able to slip fit a piece of pipe on this for like car shows and meets and stuff like that, and we'll just slip on a piece to like 45 or 90 up behind the car, and that way we can do like bozo pipe stuff and just play around with it and have fun. That's the point. So let's get that cut off. I'm gonna get the car on the lift, get it in the air, and I have to V-band the exhaust because the way I designed the exhaust is it's all solid. So we were in a hurry. We were getting ready to go to ice cream cruise when we put this together. So all the exhaust on here it's solid. The downpipe has to turn and like twist to come out, and it can't because everything is welded in place. So I'm going to go ahead and V-band it further up where the downpipe is still 2.5 before it steps up to 3, and then we're going to V-band it so we can remove everything, make it a lot easier. So that is going on the blue car. Here we go. The blue car is in the air. We got it on the lift. I'm going to chop the exhaust probably right in here somewhere. That way I can get my torch around it and actually weld the V-band on. Because I only need to weld the V-band on this side. And then on this side, I'll go ahead and put it up here and tack it. And then I can drop the whole exhaust and weld this side off the car. So I only have to weld this side of the cut. And yeah, there's a smiley face. Zach did that when he was welding it. But anyway, we're going to do the 2.5 because that's the only V-band I have. And that'll allow us to drop the entire exhaust and actually work on it when we need to. The hangers do kind of suck to get off. It's really tight getting those off of there. I'll probably go ahead and pull the bolts. You guys can't really see, but there's bolts up in there. And we're going to give this the chop. And then where this steps up to 3.5, I'm going to cut somewhere. And then we're going to weld on the adapter like I was talking about earlier. Alright, we ran into a snag. I got it cut. I know it's crooked. I did it with a Sawzall, so it's not perfect, but I think it'll work. I'll clean it up, put the V-band on, and ran into a little snag back here. I forgot that we just threw this thing together as quick as we did, and it's not going to clear. There's no way in hell that this is going to go over the beam. So I'm probably going to go ahead and cut this somewhere. That way we can drop the exhaust here down really low, and it will it'll do its thing like we want it to. That's probably not going to cut all the way through, but we'll see. You know what? Huh? We're done. It's just we're just sending it back and forth to the brick. It's only a $600 muffler. I'm not worried about it. It'll work eventually. It's cut. It sucked. Almost cut a hole in my tire with Sawzall blade. It's actually a first for me. But yeah, it looks like poop down here because it had to be adapted, and I didn't have the proper equipment at the time. But we're gonna do some cleaning up a little bit. I'll hammer and kind of make that as round as I can, and then we'll put that adapter on there. Actually, the blade's not as straight as Elton John, but anyway, it worked. And we're going to clean that up, try to make it as round as we can, and weld that onto that. This V-band tacked on. We got the V-band tacked on that side, and we're going to try to get it up here, mock it up, And if it looks good, I'll go ahead and tack a couple more spots on this, and I'll tack a couple more spots on this, and then we'll weld it out. I just want to come out here and show you guys before I upload this video the finished product, since my phone died right in the middle of recording all the nonsense that we were doing to get this exhaust done. So this is a 5-inch tip, and then it's clamped, and then it steps down from 5 to 3.5, and then it steps down from 3.5 to 3, and then it goes all the way up to the downpipe, which is 2.5. And it's obnoxious. You guys can see it's big. That's my hand. I mean, it's a 5-inch exhaust, so you see it and it looks big, but until you see it in person, you don't really get how ridiculous it really is. It's pretty wild. This, I haven't opened it yet, but this is the rebuild kits for all 4 of my carburetors on my bike. And these are the vacuum gauges and all the little fittings to thread in and synchronize the carburetors. Hopefully I have time tomorrow. I'm going to take the carbs with me to work and see if I can get the kits installed and everything looks fine. But these are the carburetors. These are the factory Coolant carbs that came on the bike. Nothing too fancy. They're just factory carbs that came on the Honda. I did order the aluminum upgraded feed lines to go from one carb to the other to transfer fuel through the carbs. The factory ones are plastic and they're super brittle, so I spent the money and ordered the aluminum ones. So we're going to be getting those installed too. And once this bike is together, I'm going to stick a picture in the video somewhere. So I ordered some sunglasses for the little dog. He would not wear them long enough for me to get a picture of him. So I ended up getting a picture of Nash, which I'll show you guys. But I have an idea to take the bike, and me and Tom are going to build a sidecar out of the AC unit that I stripped out of my backyard. And we'll build a frame and hook it onto the bike and everything to where it's nice and secure and safe. And I'll put a little windshield on it, and we're going to make that the sidecar for the little dog so that he can ride to work with me in his own little sidecar. So I'll put a picture of kind of an example, relatively what I want to do, but this is what I was thinking. And you can see the sidecar has headlights, which I thought was pretty neat. But we'll do something kind of similar to that, and then we'll have little dog riding in that. He's going to be big. From what I can tell, he's a Bernese mountain dog, and they get up, some of them get up over 120 pounds. So I'm in for a surprise, I guess. My other 2 dogs are like 40, 50 pounds, so he's going to be huge, if that's what he actually is. But you guys, if you haven't discovered it yet, go check out the website. I did get the website all up and running. The only thing on there right now is stickers. I'm actually about to design some shift knobs that will have the YouTube handle. They'll say the Tyler on it, either on top or on the side. Feel free to tell me whichever, or you guys can send me an email and say, hey, I'd rather have it here than there, and I can do a couple designs with some different stuff. And we can, in the future, we can start doing different colors and like carbon fiber nylon, make some really cool, some strong ones that are like super tough. So we're gonna see. I'll have to figure out all the threads and everything, and I'm not a pro at designing things to print, so we'll see. I'm sure I'll mess a few up before I get it right, but I'll test it on my car before I just throw it on the website for you guys to, you know, rip it off and break it in half and then message me angrily about how your shift knob broke and it's my fault. But I'll try to get it tested and make sure that's going to work on my car before I throw it on the website. But I do have stickers on there right now. I still have quite a few on hand, and I can obviously order more and get them on the way for you guys if you want a bulk order, or you want various different colors. I have red, blue, white, green, and black right now. So get on the website, get you a sticker. I'll put the link right down here in the description so you guys can click there, and then there's a link there to take you to my Instagram and then back to the YouTube channel as well. So I try to make it easy for you guys. If you have any suggestions on what I could do different on the website or a different sticker design, turbo stuff. I know people love turbo stuff, so just give me ideas. Whatever you guys are thinking, feel free to say something, and you know, we'll try to make it happen. So t-shirts, hats, those should be coming. I'm hoping I can get those knocked out like middle of April. You guys stay tuned. I'm going to try to get the shift knob thing figured out, and then I'll test it, and I'll keep you guys posted on how that goes. And that way, by the time you order it, it's not going to be a piece of crap, hopefully. But you guys stay tuned, and I'm going to get this uploaded. Hopefully it uploads tonight. These 4K videos usually take a long time to upload. I might just do this in 1080p. So the video quality is noticeably worse and somebody says something, I'll go back to doing everything in 4K. But I can do a 1080p video in like an hour and a half. I can do a 4K video in like 4 or 5 hours. It's a huge difference in time on uploading and processing and converting it up to like 4K. So you guys keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate your patience and your support, and we'll be back. I'm going to try to get some more cool stuff going on. We've got a lot of crap coming in the shop that we just have to do, because when you're just getting started, you've got to do some stuff that isn't necessarily enjoyable before you get to the cool stuff, and that's kind of where we're at right now. You guys keep watching. If you haven't subscribed, I'll do the little subscribe thing with the bell and all that stuff, so you guys remember to click the subscribe and stay up to date on what's going on. So you guys stay posted, and I have an engine idea for what we might be doing with the Rambler. So y'all keep doing what you're doing so I can keep showing you guys all the nonsense and keeping you up to date. So I appreciate your support, and you guys have any questions or anything, just hit me up in the comments. We'll figure it out. Shift knob ideas, new stickers, t-shirts, hats, whatever. I have a couple hat ideas, so we'll make it happen. You guys say something, and I will try my best to reply in a timely manner, and we'll figure something out. We'll be back. Subscribe.